So, funny story. And this whole story involves me buying a truck for Canadian artillery forward observers in Ukraine. It also involves Johnny Rogers of the Ukrainian Relief Fund. And now that everybody is home, I can actually tell this story. So here goes. So I got to start by saying that I am a Christian. And, Matthew 6:1, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them, or you will have no reward from your Father in heaven, or something like that, right? And I'm Episcopal, and it's you don't do a good deed and then expect a reward by telling other people about it. But this is a fundraiser, so now that everyone's home, I can kind of talk about this. So I guess back in June in 2022, I got a message from this Canadian who was serving in the International Legion, and he was like, Ryan, I just wanted to tell you what it's like shooting artillery here, calling for fire for artillery here. And I listened to him, and some of the information he was giving me made its way into videos where I talked about how Ukraine was providing fire support. Well, I told him during the interview, like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And I was totally serious about that. And like a day later, he texts me like, Ryan, when you said if we need anything, how far were you willing to go? And I was like, well, whatever you need, let me know. I was working at Accenture at the time. I had money, I had savings, I had stock. I don't spend my money on a lot other than, alcohol and cigars, right? So I was good. And so the guy wrote me and said, well, can you get us some laser rangefinders? Like, ooh, I don't know. So there's this law called ITAR, which is the International Traffic and Arms Regulation, ITAR. And so the first thing I did was I contacted an ITAR lawyer. And I was like, look, these guys want laser rangefinders. Is it okay for me to send them laser rangefinders? It cost me $2,000 to talk to a lawyer to ask about that, right? So the lawyer wanted passports for everybody in this Canadian unit who was going to be using these laser rangefinders. And he said, yes, it's okay to send these rangefinders. So the next thing I did was I called around to try to buy military-grade laser rangefinders. And nobody would sell them to me because I'm calling like, how can I buy one? And they're like, yeah, we don't sell them in onesies and twosies. We sell them in like lots of 1,000, right? To nation states that are buying these things. And so I went and talked with Jay, who was the point of contact for this forward observer unit, this Canadian guy who was serving the International Legion. I was like, Jay, look, I can't get you these rangefinders because they won't sell them to me. And Jay found like a Sig Sauer laser rangefinder, like a golf laser rangefinder for people who, how far is it to the pin, right? So Jay found one of those, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I think it costs about like $1,000. So I bought them too. And, Jay kept adding stuff to the list. He's like, can you send us compasses? I was like, I got you. Ordered some compasses. And Jay's like, can you send us some underwear size medium? I got you. I sent it. And he kept asking for more and more stuff, right? And one of the things he asked for was beef jerky. And this is where the problem comes into play, right? So I get all the stuff, and I have so much stuff, I put it in 2 boxes. And I actually split up I split up the electronics into 2 different boxes, so if one went missing, at least it'd have a second laser rangefinder, right? So I go to UPS, and I ship this stuff off to Ukraine. I think it cost me like $600. Now, these boxes have to go through Germany to get to Ukraine. The boxes get intercepted in Germany. And it wasn't the laser rangefinders, that wasn't an issue, and it wasn't the compasses, that was fine as well. It was the beef jerky. Apparently, it is illegal to import beef jerky into Germany. Like, nein, dein Trockenfleischweinrand ist verboten. So German customs intercepted my packages, and I had to pay $150 per package for German customs at UPS to open up the packages, take the beef jerky out, which they probably destroyed, one by one slowly, right? And then the package went off to Poland, and then someone from the unit in Ukraine went to Poland and got the package, and the guys were happy. It was great. So then a couple weeks later, I get another text from Jay, and Jay was like, Ryan, when you said if you want anything, if you need anything, let me know. How deep was your commitment to that? And I was like, what do you need? And he goes, well, our truck got blown up. Can you buy us a truck? And I'm like, I can buy you a truck. So I couldn't. What I couldn't do was just like send money to these guys to buy a truck because there's different regulations regarding that. But my friend Johnny Rogers of Help Is On The Way UA, the Ukrainian Relief Fund, he was working in Ukraine. And I contacted him. I'm like, Johnny, can you help me out here? If I donate $10,000, actually I think I donated $11,000. That way he could use $1,000 for expenses. If I donate you $11,000, can you go to Poland, buy a truck, and bring it to this unit in Ukraine? And Johnny, who's an amazing guy, Johnny Rogers, I've talked about him a couple of times. Johnny Rogers drives around Ukraine in a van. He crosses the Dnieper River. He lives in the van down by the river, right? And he just goes around to different areas of Ukraine, and he just helps people. And that the Red Cross, they take a bunch of water to Lviv and go, we did it, and that's not helping, right? You're not helping. But Johnny will go to the front lines. In fact, he helped this one guy get dentures, and he had to drive him from the front lines to the orthodontist, I guess that's where you get dentures. The dentist where you get dentures. He had to drive the guy back and forth like 4 times. And this guy was like starving to death because he couldn't chew food. So you don't think about that in a war. Like even if a war is going on, people still need dentures. So Johnny went to Poland. He found a truck. He bought a truck. And he got that truck back to Ukraine. And going through the border, you still need to like get a license plate. No, Ukraine is still a country, and there's regulations on inspection and license plates and stuff like that. So Johnny got the truck back to the unit that needed it, and that truck was performing missions in Ukraine. So right now, Johnny is holding a fundraiser. And I'd like to show you Johnny's fundraiser video that he did. He's a great guy. If you have a couple of bucks, toss Johnny a couple of bucks. I'll have the link down below. He's a great guy, and he's actually helping people out in Ukraine. Here's Johnny.
Hello, I'm Johnny Rogers with Ukrainian Relief Fund. Thank you so much for the support. Previously, we were able to get a vehicle through a fundraiser that allowed me to do a lot of great work in Ukraine. I went back to the States for a while to complete my bachelor. Now I'm going back to Ukraine to help some guys out. While I was gone, the truck remained in Ukraine and it kept doing a lot of great work with some friends. One of the things that it did was helped with medical evacuations in the east. And then it helped guys in the 25th Airborne Brigade do some really cool stuff. They're some American friends. Fundraiser this time is to help 2 groups of Americans. One is a group of United Kingdom and American volunteers. They really need some help like now. I would give them more if I had more savings. They need really basic things to be able to operate. They're a reconnaissance unit. They need help very soon. Basic things like sleeping bags. And the other unit is like I said, the 25th Airborne Brigade. There's some Americans helping out that are doing a really great job. The best way to help in a humanitarian aspect is to stop civilians from getting hurt. These guys are defending their homes, their towns, and doing a great job of it. And then any of the remainder will go to the traveling colonels. They've been doing a great job with building IFACs, collecting physical donations like tourniquets, Z-fold bandages, and things that save people's lives. And while I was in the States, I was helping to coordinate donations and then also locate exactly where those need to go. We've been continuously working on the IFAC production. And then any remainder will go to me, my travel, being able to help these guys and deliver their equipment. So anything you can do is greatly appreciated. We're doing a big push for this summer. We can get a lot accomplished very efficiently. We know exactly where these dollars are best spent, and we can bypass a lot of red tape and just get the job done. There's a lot of stuff on the news about big money, billions of dollars, but there's a lot of jobs that need to be done, a lot of stuff that needs to be buttoned up that are in between that just needs a little bit of funding. And we can get this accomplished. We can do a lot of work with very little. We just need a little bit of support and we can get a lot done and help everybody out and win this thing together. Thank you so much for anything you're able to do. I truly appreciate the opportunity to be out here helping these guys and making sure your donations are getting where they need to get. Need to make sure everything's being used efficiently and effectively. Anything you can do is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, Ryan, for the shout out. And thank you, anybody who shares this, anybody who supports, follows. I thank you so much.
So that's Johnny Rogers, everybody. This guy is an amazing guy. We're lucky to have people like him helping out in Ukraine on a purely volunteer basis. If you want to support the channel, I'm going to donate any proceeds that I get from people who are buying t-shirts today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for supporting Johnny.
Hey everyone! New Ryan McBeth t-shirts and hoodies from Bunker Branding are available. I'm going to get the HIMARS shirt. What are you going to get, Donald? The Patriot shirt, because I'm a patriot. It's the best shirt, the biggest shirt. Make 14 tangos great again. What are you going to get, Barack? Let me be clear. I'm going to get a Drone Sweet Drone shirt. What about you, George?
I'm going to get a Trident missile shirt because they're weapons of mass destruction.
I'm going to get a Landmine Marker shirt because my presidency always blew up in my face.
I'll tell you what I'm going to get.
Ronald Reagan, but you're dead.
I came back to tell you that no matter our politics, we're all Americans. And we should buy Ryan's hoodies and t-shirts because they pay for the stock footage and licenses that allow him to make awesome content. So come on down to Bunker Branding and buy a Ryan McBeth t-shirt or I'll start the bombing in 5 minutes.